Welcome to STACHE Sports, episode 60. Dylan Cook, who filled in for left tackle Roger Jones when Roger Jones injured his neck last year and looked good. But that's maybe an area where the Pittsburgh Steelers might need to go and look at their scouting combines to get a better left tackle. I mean, Roger Jones is okay when he's healthy, but he was struggling a little bit, and maybe they might look there because they need a good left tackle on the offensive line because that's a blind side for the quarterback, and that's one of the most important positions on the offensive line. But Dylan Cook didn't look bad, but he needs help. But he wasn't a type pick, so we'll see what the Steelers do. Didn't mind any more offensive line help in the draft too, but I do think they need receivers. And we'll talk more about the receivers and other players that are in the NFL scouting combine and where I think they might go, or which I think the Steelers might need to be looking at and need talking to during the scouting combine this week. Tonight, the Pittsburgh Penguins come back into action after the NHL winter break. If you missed yesterday's episode, I said that it was broken news yesterday that Sidney Crosby will be going on IR and be out for 4 weeks. I don't know if it's like football or other sports where he has to be out for 4 weeks or if he can come back earlier. Hopefully it's not much later because I'd like half a month, and we're in the crucial part right now. But when Sidney Crosby has been out in the past, even though he's older now, Evgeny Malkin has looked really good. And Evgeny Malkin has been resting, even though he has a bad shoulder, he's been resting because Russia was not allowed in the Olympics this year because they're a ban. So the Russian athletes are not allowed. If they did it, they were just athletes by whatever. But since the Russian athletes are not allowed, Evgeny Malkin wasn't playing in the Olympics. So he has more time to rest. Even though he's older, he's looking really good, and he's on a contract here. He's looking to get one more year in Pittsburgh, and these are going to be the games that show if we can get one more year and show how good he still is. This is the first test. This is another test for young head coach Dan Muse on losing one of his superstar players. It's going to be interesting to see if Dan Muse changes his game plan around to try to benefit of his team without having Sidney Crosby for the next 4 weeks or later, hopefully sooner, if not later. But he's going to have to switch it around. I know we're playing the Devils tonight, and besides Jack Hughes, who had a game-winning goal for Team America, we're not looking so good, but any team could beat us. And we're in second place right now and have a couple games where if we do decide to mess up, it's not going to affect us too much, but we don't need to have a big losing streak without Sidney Crosby. But it's going to be rough. I mean, I'm not saying, but I'm against having I'm not against having NHL players in the Winter Olympics, because I think that's what really drew it up, and I think that's what made the game a lot better, having NHL superstars in it than having college amateurs. Don't get me wrong, the college amateurs do good well too, but I think people want to watch I think, in my personal opinion, people want to watch the Olympics and want to watch their team play with their favorite players and NHL superstars. I think in the men's it makes it more entertaining and made that game a lot more high interested and made people want to watch it more because it was with all the NHL superstars from Canada and the United States. But with that being said, the Penguins get back in the net tonight. It's going to be interesting to see how they do. So they've been hot of late, but they've been on a break. And sometimes when you're on a break, after you've been on a hot streak, sometimes you might cool off. Even if you are older players like Evgeny Malkin, it's going to be interesting to see how good Ben Kendall can do because he is a younger player who didn't play during this time and has a rest. So hopefully he comes back on fire like he was. It doesn't slow down because of the rest, but we'll see. I think they could be able to beat the Devils tonight in Pittsburgh, and I think Jack Hughes will get a big standing ovation from the crowd tonight in Pittsburgh too, because he had that game-winning goal for America, even though he's on the opposite team. But I think Evgeny Malkin shows up tonight. I think he shows that his shoulder's looking a lot better, and he shows up. I think Ben Kendall scores tonight, or maybe Chris Letang, who we're getting back, or Brian Russ, or maybe that's an old player. Maybe Carlson scores. Eric Carlson needs to look good. I mean, he was one of the best defenders when he traded from the Sharks. Maybe he can get, and he's looking really good this year. Maybe he can get more shots on goal. Or maybe this new guy, Gerard, might look pretty good too. I don't know how he's going to look because I haven't really watched much hockey for the Colorado Avalanche. But let's see what he can do. But it's good getting another draft pick and another player that's here for more years than 1 year, trading away a rental and getting a second round pick. The Penguins do have a lot of draft picks this year in the next few years, So hopefully they can start building for the future around Sidney Crosby, because Sidney Crosby, no matter how healthy he is, and F. Getting Walker are getting older and won't be around much longer. It will still be sad for the Penguins because they've been here my whole life, but they won't be around much longer because they are getting older and they need to look in the future. And the second rounds and the first rounds are good. But like I said yesterday in the video, the NHL trade deadline is coming up soon. So what do? Did they try to get another another center? Maybe they could get Turek or however you pronounce his name, from the New York Rangers or somebody else from the New York Rangers, because the New York Rangers are not doing so good this year and looking for a rebuild. So maybe they can get one of those older guys to help build a fold and get us some more center depth. I mean, they need another good defensive player, so maybe they trade for another defensive player. But I'll keep you updated on STACHE Sports on what happens with that. But I'll keep you updated on STACHE Sports and what happens to that. Like I said, it's going to be interesting to see what Dan Meese has done. Dan Meese has really turned it around with Kyle Dubas under helm as GM and getting better trades from that dumb Philadelphia GM we had before him that put our team in absolute disarray and depleted them. Kyle Dubas has turned them around with an aging roster and Sidney Crosby, an aging roster, Sidney Crosby, Carlson, and Rust, and Letang and Malkin. He has turned them around and got some other players back. Like Moffat, he's looking pretty good, or Lazat, he's looking pretty good this year, or Barzal, who's looking really good this year. Barzal could score tonight too, maybe. I mean, he's looking really good off after his injury and coming back from a year off, or whatever. And they're looking really good. Some of these players like Moffat are trying to prove himself to prove a deal, and it's looking really good to prove himself. But that they're gonna flip them to try to build up for the future or try to build for now. We'll see. Like I said, the trade deadline is coming up here soon because we just came back from the NHL All-Star break. But like I said, I think the Penguins win tonight. Arthur Sheeloff is playing in net tonight. I think Sheeloff is good. Sheeloff might be the one goaltender that they start making more of a major starter and then have Stuart Skinner as a backup. But we'll see. Sheeloff is coming off playing in Olympics for Slovakia. But I'll keep you updated on any NHL updates, trades, or anything that happens. But we'll see. Other games. Congratulations to Connor Hellebuyck on getting the Presidential Medal of Freedom again. Other games tonight. It'll be interesting. I think the Boston Bruins, I think they beat the Blue Jackets. I think the Bruins are too much for them tonight. There's Wayman plays tonight, even though he's coming off the United States, but didn't play that much. Only playing a couple games because Connor Hellebuyck was just too good. I think the Boston Bruins win tonight. And again, I think the Penguins beat the Devils. Even though the Devils aren't doing so good, I think the Penguins win tonight. But I think the Penguins win tonight. I think Malkin scores, and I think they look good. But we'll see. I hope they win, because I'm a diehard Penguins fan. And like I said, we don't need to be losing to teams like this when we have Crosby out. And we need to show. And these are the games that they try to show. These are the games that the Penguins need to show that they are a competitive team, like they are rumored to be now in the playoff team. Earlier this year, before the moves turned around and the great trades and offseason moves by Kyle Dubas, people thought the Penguins might be dead last and looking for Gavin McKinnon. So these are the games that the Penguins need to show that they can go head-to-head against any team in the playoff spot when they don't have a superstar. They have other superstars like Malkin, Letang, Carlson, Russ, and so forth. So these are the games that they need to show up in and show why they're getting paid all these monies to play in the NHL and play for the beloved play for the Penguins and make some noise tonight. But we'll see. I think the Blackhawks beat the Predators. I think it might be a good game, but I like the Blackhawks uniforms better, and I think the Blackhawks with a young core can get past the Predators. I think the Canadians beat the Islanders. I think the Red Wings beat the Senators. I think the Panthers beat the Maple Leafs. The Maple Leafs aren't looking so good. Good thing Austin Matthews won a gold medal, because Austin Matthews might not be getting close to sniffing a Stanley Cup with Toronto right now. Toronto needs a total rebuild, in my personal opinion. But we'll see. The Maple Leafs aren't looking so good. But I think the Panthers win. I think the Hurricane and Lightning, I think that game is close, but I think the Lightning edge it out. which I hope they do. I think the Lightning edges out, even though Carolina is one of the top teams this year in the conference. But I think the Lightning edges out. I think the Rangers and Philly. Now I got the Rangers and Flyers. Both teams stink, so I think the Rangers will win. I think Mike Sullivan, if he's back, I think he gets his first win back after winning gold. I think the Kraken beat the Blues. The Avalanche beat the Wild, but the Avalanche are one of the best teams in hockey, and I don't think the Wild are going to be able to sneak up on them tonight. So I think the Avalanche are going to win. Colorado! And I think the Flames are going to be able to beat the Sharks, and the Oilers will be able to beat the Kings. Edmonton's looking pretty good. Connor McDavid's on a mission now to try to get a cup, so I think he does that tonight. But we'll see. It's going to be interesting to see what Connor McDavid does and to see how these NHL superstars that play for the United States are welcomed in Canada when they play them. Or for their teams, like even Connor Hellebuyck, if he's booed when he plays for the Jets. Last night, the Boston Celtics did not look good. They looked a little off. But they have a day off, so hopefully that helps. They didn't look good against the Nuggets, and the Nuggets looked better last night. That's all was said. But it's still number 2 and one of the top teams in the East, so that's all that matters. I think the Pacers beat the Hornets. I think the Hornets beat the Pacers. I think the Heat beat the Sixers because the Sixers aren't looking good, and I think the Heat edge them out. I think the Wizards beat the Hawks. I think the Spurs and Victor Yamba beat the Brooklyn Nets. I think the Magic beat the beat the Rockets. Excuse me. I think the Bulls beat the Trailblazers. I think the Mavericks beat the Kings. I think the Lakers beat the Suns, and I think the Pelicans beat the Jazz. Those are my picks. Magic looking pretty good, and the Heat looking pretty good. I think they bounce back tonight and win in their respective games. My friend Robbie Snyder has been asking me to talk about the NFL Combine. I really do think the Steelers need to draft receivers. I really want to get Cardinal Tate. I think Cardinal Tate could help, but I don't know if Cardinal Tate will be available at 21 if the Steelers don't move up. We do have a lot of picks this year, and we could move up. And I think if we do, that'd be good to get a receiver if we move up. Because no matter who our quarterback is, I think that's what we need. Here are some receivers that the Steelers need to look at. Jordan Taysom from Arizona State. I remember Jordan Taysom being a headache against the my beloved UCF Knights. So Jordan Taysom wouldn't be bad. Jordan Taysom is a Colorado transfer coming off breakout second season at Arizona State. That'd be good. He's 6'10", 6'2", and 200. That's good. We need a tall receiver too. We don't need these short receivers like Calvin Austin or Roman Wilson. We need a tall receiver for whoever the quarterback is, whether that's Aaron Rodgers or whoever. But he might not be bad either if he's still available by 21. Cardinal Tate from Ohio State, he might not be bad either. He's 6'2", 195 pounds. But that'd be nice to get him because I think he was if all these people are right and all mammored around Will Howard, I think that'd be good to get Cardinal Tate because Cardinal Tate and Will Howard have a connection. So that's nice. It's like when the Bengals got Joe Burrow and then got Jamar Chase. They had a connection to college. Not saying it's going to be able to work out that way. Not saying that if he even gets a shot that Will Howard would be better. But I really do like Cardinal Tate. Cardinal Tate was one of the top receivers in Ohio State's high-powered offense with Jeremiah Smith, who's a young hotshot freshman. But I really do think Cardinal Tate will be good. 603 pounds. Or 6'3" and 195. Or maybe Denzel Boston from Washington. He's looking pretty good too. He's 6'4". Like I said, we need a tall receiver. In the last couple of years, the receivers have been doing pretty good, but gone in the first round. Chris Olave, he's done pretty good. Abuka from the Ohio State Buckeyes, who looked pretty good last year. He's done pretty good too. Jamar Chase, he's that first round pick. He's looked pretty good too. And always have receivers. So that's why I really do think the Steelers need to draft a receiver, number one, unless they think they have a good offensive tackle that they need. Because they also need to shore up the offensive tackle no matter who the quarterback is. No matter who the draft quarterback is. But we'll see. Those are some names that the Steelers need to be looking at this week for receivers. The names I just mentioned. I'll go over them again. Jordan Taysom from Arizona State. Cardinal Tate from Ohio State. Denzel Boston. Maybe Malachi Fields. Or Malachi Lemon from USC. He's another name. Malachi Lemon is 5'11". I mean, that's short, but he's the speedster. So that's something the Penguins... he's a speedster. So that's something the Steelers need too. They need more receivers. Like I said, who knows if we'll have Calvin Austin. And I don't really think Roman Olsen's all that good. Amari Cooper Jr. from Indiana. He might be pretty good too. He's 6'2", 201 pounds. That might be a name to watch out for too. Or Malachi Fields if he goes available in the top round. Or Zachariah Branch. Or Casey Compton. Those are names to watch. The Steelers need to stock up on receivers. That's my personal opinion. And those are names to watch. I don't know. I got to do more mock drafts and look at more mock drafts to see where they have these players falling. But Jordan Tyson could be a name to watch. Cardinal Tate, Boston, Malachi Lemon. Or Amari Cooper Jr. Or Malachi Fields from Notre Dame. There's their names to watch for the Pittsburgh Penguins. Keep speaking so fast. For the Pittsburgh Steelers to draft. And there's their names we want to hear Roger Goodell. And one of those names that I want to hear Roger Goodell say. I know people are saying about the Steelers need to draft Ty Simpson from Alabama. Ty Simpson did look good, but people really think Will Howard has a shot. Let's try Will Howard. But these are my early predictions well before the NFL season even starts. We haven't had the NFL season start yet, but we'll see. Malachi Fields, Jordan Taysom wouldn't be bad. These are the names I'm going to be looking at during the upcoming stuff. Or here's some tackles. Maybe they can get Francis Majulia from Miami. That could be a good left tackle to have if they don't really think Broderick Jones could live up to his hype. Also, Broderick Jones is up for his option this year, his fifth-year option, so who knows if the Steelers picking that up. So maybe he's another name to watch out for. It's Francis Majulia, but we'll see. Like I said, I think the Steelers need receivers. So I think the names that I said before, I think those are the names we'll be looking at. And those will be the names I'll be looking at this whole year. And those will be the names I'll be looking at those will be the names I'll be looking at in the upcoming weeks when I keep doing a combine and seeing how good they do. Like I said, Fernando Mendoza won't be thrown, but Mendoza's the number one quarterback. He won't be available for the Steelers. But actually, I really want the Steelers to get the guy to quarterback because I don't know. A couple years ago when I drafted Kenny Pickett, I know I was really high on Kenny Pickett, but he didn't turn out so well. So I don't know if I want to waste a pick or draft another quarterback in the first round, unless they really do think that the Ty Simpson from Alabama has it, but we'll see. Jordan Tyson wouldn't be bad. Cardinal Tate will be who I would love. If we went to 21 and they got Cardinal Tate, I'll flip out. Boston might not be bad, or Malachi Lemon. Malachi Lemon was pretty good for USC. And Amari Cooper Jr. had pretty good hands in the college football playoffs and the championship game for Indiana. Or Malachi Fields. He might not be bad either if he goes. That'd be cool if we get another Fields for a receiver, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. A lot of people think that the Steelers are going to be drafting the quarterback. Some people think, I know the Steelers might need to draft a quarterback, but we'll see. If Aaron Rodgers comes back, I really don't think we need a quarterback. Well, we'll see. But we'll see. The combine's going off really hot right now. But I don't think Mendoza needs to throw. I don't think it's going to change this fact at all. It's going to be interesting to see how good they do. How good the 40s are for these receivers. I'll keep my eye on. Malachi Fields, Cardinal Tate, Boston. I do have a guy from USC, and so forth. But I'll keep my name on them. I'll keep my eye on them. And see what the NFL Combine does. But those are the names I think the Steelers need to draft and look at in the draft. Or maybe off the line. or maybe people behind Cam Hayward too, because Cam Hayward's not getting any older if he stays next year. So that'd be nice to get somebody behind him, or maybe more safety help. I know we get Deshaun Elliott back, and we might still have Jalen Ramsey could be back there, but maybe they might move Jalen Ramsey back to cornerback. But we'll see. I really do think they need a receiver because, like I said, right now our only receivers are, if they don't re-sign Kyle Notson the third, our only receivers are DK Metcalf, maybe MVS if he's still there, and Roman Wilson. And Roman Wilson has not been doing so well. I don't know if it's the coaching system or what it is, but Roman Wilson, I don't know what's up with him. I don't know if local Pittsburgh sports media even knows that, but we'll see. But we'll see. I hope the NFL Combine goes good, and I hope Omar Khan and company are looking at the receivers I mentioned. So that's the name I'd be looking for. I don't know, like I said, since we have Will Howard, and I know people are on the bandwagon, I gotta see what he does first before I can get all hyped up on him like I do on other players. But I don't know. I just think we should try Will Howard first. If you're really high on Will Howard and all these people are talking about Will Howard, I think it should try him first, and I try to draft Ty Simpson, unless we can get Ty Simpson in the later round. But we'll see. But we'll see what the 40s are and how fast they do. I'll keep my eye up on that this week and next week when that keeps going on. It's going on in Indianapolis right now. Hopefully we get one of those receivers that are dogs, like Pat McAfee says. They're dogs. The Pittsburgh Pirates are looking real good right now. Jake Mangum P.I., who plays outfield, who we got from the Tampa Bay Rays in that Brandon Lau trade, has looked really good for the Pirates so far in spring training. Let's hope that's good, because the Pirates might need another outfielder that can go along company with Brian Reynolds and Orneal Cruz now, because they moved Orneal Cruz from shortstop to outfield. But they're looking pretty good. They won 6-4 today, and they had 11 hits. Hopefully they can get 10 of those hits when it counts. I know a lot of our players are going to play, but we did have a majority of our players playing today that might be playing and might be on the opening day roster for the Pittsburgh Pirates when that starts. Can't wait for fantasy baseball to start either. Spencer Horwitz doubled, and Magnum scored. Ozuna grounded. Cruz scored. Horwitz singled again. Ross home run. That's nice to see some of these other players home and running that might be called up or might not be called up because of spring training. But we'll see. Some of these players I know won't be called up and will be going back down to the minor league system where they are good at. It'll be interesting to see if Connor Griffin gets called up. I really do hope they call Connor Griffin up and start with the best opening day roster they can with pitcher Paul schemes. I know we have the World Baseball Classic coming up, and some people are upset because they don't want Paul schemes to go too crazy and start pitching a lot because they want his arm to be. Me too. They want their arm to be one's arm to be strong and good late until October. So I don't need him trying to rush it now and get his arm all tired before October. I think the Pirates have a good year this year. Let's hope they do. Brandon Lau and a couple of these players that they brought in, let's hope they can hit. I know Ryan O'Harner looks pretty good too. We'll see. I know people are upset because they don't get McCutchen back because McCutchen's older, so he won't be playing outfield like he used to. He's only DH, and we signed Ozuna, that had better hits than him last year. But we will see what happens with that. Cardinal Tate, Boston, Malachi Fields, or Jordan Tayson are names I'll be watching for the upcoming draft. And the other guy from USC, Fleming or whatever his name is, but I can't remember right now. Those are the names I'll be looking at. I don't think they need to draft a quarterback because if they have Aaron Rodgers come back, I think Aaron Rodgers can try to help Will Howard, and I do think next year has a lot stacker draft class, but we'll see. Right now, that's right before the season starts. Also, I forgot to mention when I was talking about the NFL draft, if you're still watching my video, that the Steelers might be interested in Brian Thomas Jr. from the Jacksonville Jaguars. Duval. That won't be bad. Brian Thomas Jr. had an off year last year, but Brian Thomas Jr. was a little injured. And was, like I said, and keep on saying, keep on preaching, the Steelers need receivers. So if they can get Brian Thomas Jr. for the right price, so it doesn't cost them too much, that might not be bad. So let's see. I'll keep more up to date on that. The NFL season hasn't started yet. But we did have a trade today from the New York Jets. They traded away a defensive player and got another defensive player. That trade will be official once the league year starts, but the league year has not started yet. But like I said, it will not be bad if the Steelers could get somebody like that. Maybe there's other receivers that they might be able to trade for, like they did last year with DK Metcalf. But if they can get Brian Thomas Jr., that's not bad to pair him up with DK Metcalf. That's not bad to pair up Brian Thomas Jr. with DK Metcalf. DK! But we'll see. And these other receivers, like I mentioned, wouldn't be bad to pair up with DK Metcalf either. But like I said, we're going to need more receivers. But we'll see. The Titans and Jets made a trade today. The Titans are sending Jermaine Johnson to the Jets for Sweat. For T-Vondo Sweat. That's a defensive trade. We'll see how good that does. But the trade cannot get complete until the league year starts. But we'll see how good that is. I'll be keeping my eye on the NFL Combine so people on my podcast want to hear my spots. But like I said, the receivers' names I mentioned earlier are the names I'll be looking at. And hope we have a good fast 40. Hopefully some of them are still available by 21 because there's a lot of stacked receiver class this year. And I think that's where the Steelers need to focus on with new head coach who's an offensive coach in mind. Well, we'll see. Thank you for watching STACHE Sports episode 16 and watching all my other episodes. I appreciate the love and support.